part. I think that's honestly the best part. Like just getting to grow relationships with people, getting to know people. Like I make it a goal, even though I know most of my members fairly well, to know one new thing about them every single day, and that like grows the culture there. Like we'll get together outside of just having like a Legends late night or having an event or something like that. It's gotten to the point where people are just hanging out as friends as opposed to just hi and bye, see you at the gym, I'll see you tomorrow or whatever. It's like an actual family in there, and that's what really drew me into Legends, was like mostly like the tribe part of it.
Welcome back to the Legends Boxing Podcast, guys. I'm really excited today. We've got a guest in-house. This is Tim Byrd, and he's come all the way from Wilmington, North Carolina. And in fact, today, I know we're going to actually be dropping this, and the fight will already be over, but it is EFN Fight Day today. It's May 13th, so tonight at 7 p.m. Utah time, he's going to be stepping into the ring, and he's going to be facing his opponent. He's been training for the 9 weeks that we've been giving him, plus that. So, Tim, welcome. Thanks for being here, man.
I appreciate you having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, we wouldn't want to miss up this opportunity with you being out here and not having you on our podcast.
Exactly.
So, how are you enjoying Utah so far?
I love it out here. Even last year when we came in, was it October for the Legendary Weekend? It's beautiful out here. I mean, if there was an ocean, I'd probably move out here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is one of the big things we are missing in Utah is the ocean. So I heard you came early, right?
Yeah, I've been down here since Tuesday. So the last 4 days I've been here just because the elevation difference, because I think literally I live 10 minutes from the beach and I think I'm about 5 feet above sea level and y'all are about 5,000. So
yeah.
Big difference there. Just need to make sure I wasn't dying as soon as I stepped into the ring.
Now, did you feel that change so far since you've been out here? Because I know you've been training, right? You've been training with Robbie in South Jordan.
Yeah, so over there we did some work a couple nights ago, and back home I can spar for 3, 4, 5 minute rounds, no problem, no issue, 30-second break in between. But we were going over there and I was about to pass out about a minute and a half in. Just everything, like, feel like my lungs were like blowing up and everything else was compressing. So I was just like, good grief, thank God I came out here early.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how big of an adjustment that is. I've personally never felt it like that way. I've felt it the opposite way. So like I remember my first year that I fought in state, I was out of town vacationing or whatever, going to California to visit my ex-wife's family. And I called some gym up to ask if I could train while I was down there. And they're like, yeah, sure. And like 4 hours later, I was barely even breaking a sweat. And it's like that altitude, you're training in high altitude all the time. And then you go down to sea level. And it's like, it's so crazy how big of a difference it is. So smart move coming out here early. You excited for tonight? Who's your opponent? I don't know who you're fighting.
I believe his name is Ryan Turner.
Oh, okay.
He fights out of Saratoga, I believe. Don't know too much about him. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I'm going for the win either way.
Good. What round?
I'll be humble and say round 2.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So now we're going to have to do like when you get back home, we're going to do a post-fight and see exactly
how it goes. I'm on point with that.
Exactly. So tell me, when did you start boxing?
Well, I've always been interested in boxing. I mean, we talked about before the podcast, like HBO boxing, that kind of stuff. I always looked at that with my dad and grandpa and stuff like that. But really getting into boxing about 2.5 years ago. I mean, I've mostly, before I came into Legends and while y'all training and everything for me, pretty much self-taught.
Okay.
So, I mean, watching YouTube videos, just looking at film of other boxers and stuff like that, probably learned a lot of terrible habits. But I had a decent base. I knew what the punches were for the most part. And then once I came in through the Legend system, I got more the technique and the finesse and all that down.
Okay, so how long have you been in the Legend system?
Almost a year. August will be a year, so I guess about 8-9 months.
Nice. How are you enjoying it so far?
I love it. I've been in fitness since I was 17, 18 years old, so almost 10 years, and this is the most fun I've had in fitness in general. I mean, and this is boxing, obviously, but in the fitness space, this is the best job, best people, best environment I've been in by far.
Love that. Love to hear that. Yeah. So now by fitness, do you mean like you were you were employed working, doing like personal training, or you were working in the fitness environment?
Yeah. So before working with Legends, I was a manager at F45. I was one of their head trainers there. And before that, I just was a self-employed personal trainer.
Okay.
Doing the circuit, working at gyms, working at people's homes, that kind of thing. But especially the transition from another corporate style gym into this, it's like night and day.
Oh, good.
Night and day.
Good. And Legends being a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. Way better. way better.
Well, you know, and I can absolutely, I agree with that 100%. You know, we pride ourselves on being that, you know, different niche in the system. So even from a corporate level, we run things a little bit differently than a normal corporate standard. But yeah, no, it's great to hear that from somebody that's coming from different background and coming in and being a part of that. But like, how is it being that guy, like that head coach, the person who's responsible for creating that culture? How fun is that?
That's the best part. I think that's honestly the best part. Like just getting to grow relationships with people, getting to know people. Like I make it a goal, even though I know most of my members fairly well, to know one new thing about them every single day. And that like grows the culture there. Like we'll get together outside of just having like a Legends late night or having an event or something like that. It's gotten to the point where people are just hanging out as friends as opposed to just hi and bye, see you at the gym, I'll see you tomorrow or whatever. It's like an actual family in there. And that's what really drew me into Legends, was like mostly like the tribe part of it, the family part. And I just see that even with working with you, your brother, Kylan, Adrian, everybody up in the corporate level. It's like, it's not like big brother looking down on you. It's like everybody is on equal playing field, and you have access to everybody, and you can kind of be yourself.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, he's absolutely correct. And I love that. That's, you know, the thing that I love most about it is coming from the humble beginnings that we started in, and now being able to fly to Wilmington, North Carolina, and walk into the same exact environment. Like it's the same mentality, it's the same environment, it's that same tribal culture where it's like, we're all family, friends. We're going to go hang out. We're going to go do this. We're going to have a watch party watching head coach Tim go and round 2 win his fight. So, you know, that I think is really good. So for everybody listening, you know, those that have been listening up to now, you've heard this, and now you're hearing it coming from somebody all the way on the other end of the country. You can't get any further east.
Yeah, right. Literally.
So it was, you know, that's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about just what that's been like, kind of transitioning from COVID and kind of picking things back up. I know kind of like you guys are picking things back up in the Wilmington area. Is that right?
Yeah. We're actually, I'm not going to say blowing up, but like, in comparison to just looking at numbers and just looking at what the gym was like when I came in there, it's like night and day difference. I mean, we just talked about the culture. I mean, people coming in wanting to try us out. People were more visible now. I mean, because before I started working Legends, I thought it was just like a small local gym. And just finding out that it's an actual national brand almost, that it's like getting people to realize that has been not a struggle, but it's been kind of hard just to see that it's like, yeah, we're the only gym on this side, but you can go across the country and you'll have the exact same group of people, exact same mentality, exact same work ethic, that kind of thing. But that transition out of COVID has been pretty good so far, I would say, for the most part. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I've been liking what I'm seeing so far.
That's awesome. Tell me, now that you mentioned the word struggle, what would you nail down as saying one of your biggest struggles you're going through right now currently?
Just getting people to understand that it's not just boxing. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Legends probably have this issue, and it's probably have been an issue since you guys started. Just like the ideology of like the Rocky IV dingy dungeon gym that you go into. And that's, some people, that's awesome. I've trained at those kind of gyms. I mean, it's for a certain kind of person. But the people that Legends attracts, or we would like to attract maybe, it may not be that for them, right? So getting people to get rid of that stigma has been a challenge for sure. And then getting them to realize that this is like all skill levels. You don't need to be a high level boxer. We don't, even if at some point you end up leaving us, you don't need to leave being a high end boxer. We're not training you for a competition. I mean, unless that's what you want to work towards. But this is for you to learn, have fun, and grow a skill, right? That's the biggest part. It's getting a good workout in while developing a skill. It's literally utilizing your entire body from your feet through your brain. So it's like getting people to understand that, as opposed to, I'm gonna go in there and punch somebody in the face in the ring. That's the last thing you're gonna do coming in here. So you just gotta get people to get rid of that mindset.
That's very true. What are a few things that come to mind that you've been working on to help with that, to help kind of ease their mind and take the stigma out of the intimidation factor?
Well, just getting, when we have like trials or free workouts come in, just getting to know them on a personal level, even before they come in, like just with phone calls and everything, just kind of reassuring them that we're here through every step of the process, introducing them to members, letting them know that we're all here to help. We all started in the same spot. We all were intimidated. We all were jumping into the unknown, right? Mm-hmm. So it's getting them to understand that. And then I've been having a lot of like community events, just getting the community to come out, different businesses, just to see what the gym is about. Because a lot of people, even businesses, they think that it's just a normal fight gym. You go in there, punch a bag, go hit somebody in the face, go home. It's more than that. So just getting people to see that on a broader spectrum has been super helpful with like getting people, A, more interested, and B, wanting to stay long term.
Nice. That's great. That's really good. And it's very true. You know, that is something that, you know, like Mary Blevins, we actually just had her on the podcast not too long ago. And, you know, those that'll be listening, you get to hear a little bit more about detail, but that was her main role when she came into the company. Was she was hired basically, she started out in marketing, and her marketing drove Legends to the direction of a non-intimidating, welcoming environment. Mm-hmm. And so she did and has and continues to do such a phenomenal job with that, to make sure that, you know, everything that we can do on a marketing basis is taking that intimidation value out of there and making it so it is a welcoming environment to every single person that wants to come in and take advantage of it. So that's awesome. 9 months, he's already doing. Are you doing it not by yourself, right? You got an account manager out there, or are you the one man show?
Yeah, for the most part, I've been a one man show. We're bringing in an account manager now, so it's going to be a training process. But for the most part, it has been a one man show, and it has its difficulties, but it also has taught me to what I need to look for in that account manager, that secondary role, that assistance role, to me, to make sure that we're running on all cylinders, and it's not just me doing all the work or the account manager doing all the work. So I know what it takes to do both jobs. So I know what it takes to do the job individually. So bringing that person in, it's helped me have a greater respect for the role and know what to look for.
Oh, I love that. No script, guys. On top of that's awesome. You know, I'm liking you more and more and more, because we both are thinking the exact same way. We're both very, very similar in that. How's it been balancing? Because you didn't have anybody out there with you training and holding mitts for you this whole 9 weeks. It's kind of been one man show, right?
It's been tough. It's definitely been tough. Cause I've run sparring over there, but it's like at the same time, I'm not going to beat up on the members. Right. So I gotta hold myself accountable in that manner. But then also, not having someone to really work with, I have had to go off of Legends and go find a coach to work with separately. So that's been helpful, getting like really good sparring. And I've been working with dudes that are like gold glove fighters and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, hasn't really always worked in my favor, but it's the experience, right? It's getting the rounds in, getting the experience in, and that's been super helpful more than anything. I mean, it has been a challenge, but it's also been a learning experience to know, like, if I was to ever have a fighter of myself was able to fight in one of these events again, I know what's necessary to get there. I know even in like the worst, quote unquote, worst circumstances where I don't have everyone available to me, I know what needs to be done. And I did have the advantage of Kylan coming out for a week to work with me, so that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, so that helped a little bit.
That I didn't know, but that is cool. Yeah, and he's definitely, you know, I mean, he's not going to go light on you.
Oh no, he did not. He did not.
he's again, like we've said many a times, you know, you don't want to take a body shot from Kyle.
No,
he's gonna.
I learned that.
He's gonna show you how much they don't feel good. So this is really exciting. I've been really, I really have been looking forward to this for a couple of weeks, talking to you and finding out, because I have been curious about, you know, like kind of that same. I know kind of how you feel having to kind of do it on your own. There's not really anybody else around. So good on you for balancing all of that, for juggling coaching all day long, running a facility, and training and getting yourself ready for a fight. So how is it now? Like, how nervous are you now? Not about the fight, but about the fact that you said you got here Tuesday. Today's Saturday.
Yeah.
Who's been running the gym?
Yeah, I have a bad habit of overworking, so I will constantly be checking in on the member coaches all day. I know they probably hate me for that, but
or love you.
Yeah, probably that too. Maybe let's say that. But I've given them the reins this time. They know how important this has been. They've been a huge help for me. Even while I'm training, like I've been having to adjust my schedule like crazy as far as coaching classes, having them cover extra classes, working times they're not normally used to helping coach. So they've been a huge, huge help. I mean, before I left, I gave them a huge rundown of everything that needs to be done. I've tried not to make it too difficult for them while I'm gone, but I trust them to the point where if I'm gone for a week like I am, I'm not worried about the gym burning down.
That's awesome.
When I get back.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
From owner and managerial perspectives, all that kinds of stuff. That's a great feeling to know that you have a team of people that are going to carry the torch for you, and allow you to have this week to be able to come and focus.
They have not been bothering me at all, so I'm thankful for that.
That's good. So big shout out to the North Carolina Wilmington head or member coaches. Thank you guys for letting Tim come and do this. So I just, want to wish you the best of luck tonight, man.
I appreciate it.
It's going to be awesome. I look forward to chatting with you afterwards.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not in studio, we'll figure out how to get you back on the podcast and talk about post-fight. But look for it. It's live streaming also, guys. So tonight, it's going to be an amazing thing. I appreciate you being here. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Go give it your all, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.